Here we go. Ready to go. What's going on? Hold on, let me fix my hair. Just kidding. Hey Giselle, what's going on?
Hey, Giselle.
I think she's muted. Hey.
There she is.
Oh, headgear.
Hi, girls.
Hi,
Hey,
hi.
hey.
Hi.
How are you?
No. I got to figure out how to switch this
Oh,
camera.
I love all the no negativity allowed.
I
Oh.
hear myself. That's funny.
So is there a way to switch the cameras on here? Because
Like,
normally on my other one, I can switch between them.
as soon as you start talking or whatever, your face comes right up or whatever. Um, if you have that Hangout page open, it'll kind of echo or whatever. So you just want to keep the link that I sent you open. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Sharon, anyone? Anyone?
I hear you. I hear the
Oh, okay.
feedback, though.
Oh, I don't hear any feedback. Do you hear
Oh, you
Giselle?
don't?
No.
Maybe it's on my computer. Oh, it is. Okay. Sorry. Technical difficulties here.
It's good. I can't hear Giselle though. Can you hear her?
Uh-uh. Can't hear you, Giselle. Can't hear you. No. I'll send her a message on Facebook real quick.
Yeah, hey you guys that are watching, if anybody leave us a comment. I have my phone open to the actual Hangout so I could see.
Okay, awesome. Can't hear you. Nope.
Nope.
I'm trying to. Okay, awesome.
All right.
Can't hear you.
I think she's uh-oh.
That's funny because we could hear her at the beginning.
5 seconds ago, yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I just found the settings where I could switch the mic and the microphone and the camera. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
All right, golden. So I just want to talk to you guys. I sent a message to Sharon. I want to talk to her about Canada, some of the things that she learned this year, some of the things you want to talk about. I'm just going to start with you, Sharon, if you want to kind of
Sure.
dive right in, because that's how
In
we roll.
Canada.
Yeah.
So our big sister, big brother to the North, Canada. Giselle, of course, is from there, so she'll have a lot of good insider information about building in Canada. But I can tell you just a little bit about my experience because I have brought in a lot of people from Canada, and to to go back up a little bit with my experience building there, it's been rocky. It's been a little bit rocky because we've been in pre-launch mode. And what that essentially means is, some products are available, payment is a little bit difficult. There may or may not be warehouses, in the country, and of course here in Canada is what we're talking about specifically. But when a country is in pre-launch mode with Jeunesse, there's a lot of variables that may not be as smooth as in a country like the United States, where we've been launched, we're producing, we've got warehouses and customer support and technical support and things like that. And Canada hasn't had all those things up to this point. When you're a distributor in Canada right now, you can't even order AM, PM, and instantly ageless in one order because AM, PM is still considered an import product. It's not yet shipped from warehouses in Canada. And Giselle, you might have to, I think that's how it works. But so, things have been tricky and difficult for people who've been building in Canada up to this point. But the cool thing is those people who are in and building right now in Canada are going to be the people who are, the groundbreakers. They're the people who have the biggest opportunity to build a business in a very fertile environment, you know. People who get in early and start building from the beginning are people who can really raise up quickly in a company such as Jeunesse. And that's what I've been encouraging my team to do, is see past some of the difficulties in shipping, or, for instance, when a customer or a distributor orders products in Canada, they pay in U.S. currency. So they're paying with a U.S. dollar rather than a Canadian dollar. So they have to figure out the exchange rate, you know, and there's, you know, a markup of 30% to 40%, depending upon the exchange rate, that they have to pay extra. So there's challenges that come with building in a country that's in pre-launch mode, and those are all part of it. You know, shipping, warehouses, customer service, currency conversions. But if you can get past that stuff, man, you're in a really great place to be launching, a great place to be building, and I'm sure Giselle can speak about that, because we are about to launch officially in Canada at the end of January. So this is really exciting. Because we're so, you know, United States and Canada are so close, our cultures are so similar, you know, a lot of times you can look not too far in order to find somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's in Canada. And that's how you build a team internationally, you know, even with a country that's so close to us, you know, a sister country, as I would, you know, call it. So start digging down, start looking. Who do you know in Canada? Who do you know who has connections in Canada? And that's how you can be at the ground level of building and exploding, you know, a new market.
Yeah, so, like if you think of all the things that, like, even in the United States, I remember when we had first launched or started, we had this conversation earlier, you know, people would have all kinds of things to say when we first started. We would say it's growing pains, it's growing pains. The people who stuck through that, I mean, how great was that?
Yep, absolutely. Cheryl and I were talking earlier this week about Instantly Ageless, and how, you know, when about this time last year, in January and February last year, we couldn't even get Instantly Ageless because it was in those vials. And, you know, the manufacturer of those vials couldn't put out enough product. So we were sold out for months, I think 2 months. We could barely get any of the product. And people, you know, some distributors were frustrated by that and were like, oh, this is crap, you know, and they quit. And you know what? They could be in a much better place right now, because growing pains like that can be difficult at the time, but especially growing pains like everybody wants to order AM PM and it's only available in an import cart. That's a good thing. You know, everybody wants to order Instantly Ageless last year, but we were sold out. That's a good thing. These are all really good problems. So it's about perspective and, you know, keeping your eye on the long-term goals and visions of where this company is going to be and where you're going to be inside of it is what you really got to stick to and hold on to and understand. You know, there's challenges with customer service. I was talking to one of my distributors today who was like, you know, I was on hold for 30 minutes. That sucks. That's a growing pain, you know, because we're changing buildings today. Today's the day they're moving in, and you know, that's part of, you know, the deal of moving up and into something bigger and better is maybe it's a little bit difficult during that transition, but you gotta hold tight. You gotta, you know, be patient and be determined and keep your focus on that end goal. So,
right, like Giselle's in the background, she has like no negativity allowed. I remember going through those growing pains, going through that Instantly Ageless, and people being all negative about it, and you and I talking even way back then, we would be like, Sharon's so not negative, so we would be like, this is so great, so many people want to order, even though there's not any product. This is just so, everything would be, you know, we would always try and find the positive side to it. So I love that. I love going back there and thinking about all those things that we would constantly be discussing. You know, this is I mean, the greatest problem to have. People want stuff. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you been experiencing a lot of that, Giselle?
Well, I tell you, I actually sometimes wish that that moratorium would come back because we were so crazy busy. Everybody was in panic mode. I had, people leaving $20 bills on their desks in the morning with their name on it just to get one tube. It was like pandemonium.
I
And
know,
so,
right?
yeah, but I've been headhunted to open countries before, and so I know what it's all about when you have to open a fresh country. My last company I was with did that as well, and so there's a lot of things you want to look for. And the one thing that I really appreciate about Jeunesse is that it's like we're in a startup, but we're not. So you don't have that same risk because they're so solid. So you know that you stick with it, and things are happening, and they're rolling out as it comes. And then it gives you a better understanding with all the other new countries that are coming in too, because we are an international brand. And so when I speak to somebody in Nigeria or somewhere else in the world that hasn't opened yet, you kind of can let them know what to expect, that we are the ones paving the road, chopping down the trees, and you just stick with it. And from where we've gone, where we started a year ago to what we have now is leaps and bounds. So it happens, right? So you just got to be patient, deal with it, roll with it, and know that you've got, we've got a long-term company here. This isn't going away. So it's definitely worth any of the challenges. And with our Canadian launch, we'll see what happens, how it works with the Canadian dollar. The import cart is going to change. We have a warehouse in Calgary. I heard they were opening a second one. So if we order Luminous products, we basically get it in like 2 to 3 days. We get it really quick. The Zen products have been coming out of Florida, so they still had to cross the border, go through customs, all that kind of stuff. But as we know, as things get approved in countries, it's all going to be sent out of the same central warehouse. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, I have some similar things that happen in my Australian team. The time difference is different, but they import products like Zen and AM/PM, but they have a warehouse there where they can get Luminous and things like that. But you could still see the growth there, the excitement there. People want all of the products, so it doesn't really hold anybody back. It makes them more excited to get things. When you can't get something, you get really excited about getting it. So the people, it kind of reminds me similar. So I always go back to Canada when somebody asks me about Australia. It's a good experience to have or know about when you have so many countries that you're in. Even the United Kingdom, I have a team there and they do the same thing. So when you have a business that's all over the world, it's great to see even time zones. I mean, how many of us before, I can, now I'm like, it's an Eastern Standard Time or Pacific Time, or, in Australia it's 14 hours. So really nice.
You know what? That's one of the first things when you become a Jeunesse distributor. Memorize the time zones immediately. Get yourself a map and figure out which time zones essentially are in what parts of the country, because you'll be dealing with that a lot. So that's one of the first things I feel like every distributor needs to learn is the breakdown of time zones for our, we have team calls and training calls and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I have like the world clock or something on my iPhone.
Yeah.
I refer to that bad boy all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what time is it there? Like, even for, all over the world. So it helps out. You never know what time somebody's going to call, but it gets really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually have one thing you guys don't have here, and I've just started taking it and getting into it, and that's the VitaCell. It's like, for once, Canada has something nobody else has, right? And
Giselle, tell us about it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend take it to the homeopath, and you know how they do the strength tests, and it says if your body likes something or not, right? And so that was the one thing that the homeopath said, whoa, they said, what's going on here? This is like kind of made out of rice. I'm not sure why it's passing so well, and your body really wants it. But you can make it into a paste. You can use it topically. I have some testimonies from people that have given it to their children that have ADD, and that's the only thing they did different. And the teachers were saying, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you giving them?" Right? It's like everything's changed. So it's like a whole food. It's everything. If you're in a disaster or something, that's the one product you want to have with you.
That's awesome. We need that down here.
I know.
Wow. I hadn't heard before that you could make it into a paste and use it topically. I thought it was a drink. It comes in little packets like the Zen Fit, though, right?
Yeah, it's actually flavorless. So what I do is I either throw it in my shake, or like if I'm having like a Caesar salad or something, I just put it right in the whole thing, mix it up. You can't taste anything, so it doesn't change the flavor, but you can kind of do a lot of different things with it. And they originally formulated it, from what I heard, for preemie babies in Asia that weren't getting proper nutrition, and so they started giving them this rice, whatever it is. I'm not a scientist on it yet, but they started really thriving and really, really doing well. So they thought, why not formulate something for adults as well? And
Cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
I know, Olga on my team. Olga, her sister's in Germany, and she's a distributor with us as well, and she likes the VitaCell. She really likes that product, so I'm excited. I want to try it too.
I'll have to send you
Yeah.
guys some.
Yeah,
That's me right now.
totally.
New products to try. So, I just, some of the things that have happened over the past year or things like that that you guys have learned since it is the new year, a lot of things that have come up in my own business is fear, and I want to kind of, talk about that as well. But I want to give anybody a chance. We talked on our team call about some of the things that you've learned or things like that over the past year. So if anybody wants to chime in and talk about that, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
We let Elias go.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Sure.
just want to say good night. Welcome to the hangout, Gisele. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Giselle.
Giselle. Good to meet you, and thank you for the shout out. Greatly appreciate it. And I was just listening to the ladies and taking it all in. How you doing tonight, Sharon? What's up with you? How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
All is well. Thank you for asking. Welcome to the
Awesome.
hangout.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, indeed. Um, my takeaway from this year to touch on what Coco asked us to touch on a little bit was just, really, really staying plugged in, taking the opportunity to really, step up and honor, the invites to grow through the leadership. So with that being said, I mean, like, when we're challenged on our, you know, just when Cedric says, hey, we're gonna have a 30-day video challenge, or, when Mike Grady says, hey, make a video for, a certain product or the system, really step up and honor that, because these are the things that's gonna help us continue to grow. So, in the past, I've been, I may have not honored the invite to step up and complete, an assignment like I should have. And, so what my takeaway to touch on what Coco asked is to really just step up and honor what the leadership asks of you, because it's only going to help you with your book of business. So I just wanted to touch on that, Coco. And what's up with you, girl? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm
Thank you so
good.
much for sharing.
Indeed, indeed.
How about you, Giselle?
Well, I think this year is actually a pivotal year for me. I'm going into my 5th year, I guess, and I remember when I started and I was a year and I'd listened to other leaders that had been in 5 years, and the stuff they talked about, and you never quite got it when you were the rookie. But I just, so much of the stuff you hear all the time is sinking in and making sense, all the repetitiveness. And so this year what I'm going to change is I actually am starting 2 books. I bought new books. So I bought one that I was, for my notes, because I'm a note taker. So I got one. I started the other night to do my notes, and I thought, no, I'm actually going to keep this a whole book for goals. And I'm going to start at the back and write my name list backwards so I don't run out of room, because I needed my list in one place. And then I'm going to do a continuing goal setting for the rest of it, and documenting and just writing down my thoughts instead of just always just notes, right? Just to kind of get a grip on it. And then I've got my other book that I'm, of course, going to use for notes, and probably go through about 5 or 6 of those. And just cleaning out my office, getting things organized, really concentrating on the goal setting, because it's we got such a great team here and so much value, and I'm learning and growing so much. It's just going to the next level, and that's the part that I'm really excited about, is that personal growth.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Sharon?
Oh man, so much. Holy crap, this has been such an awesome year here with Jeunesse and Team Takeover. I feel like I've learned so much about business, about myself, about how to be successful in this industry, and I take it really seriously. I take my business very seriously. And ultimately what that boils down to is action. And I feel like sometimes when we get really involved in the team, or really involved in training, or really involved in this and that and everything else, sometimes we can forget about the action that actually makes this business a success. And I think that's what I'd like to express to people, and some advice I'd like to give to people, and what I'm also focusing on just personally for myself within my own business is, you know, if you've tuned in, if you've been, let's say you've been in the business for 6 months, you've been in TTO for 6 months, you're on the tip of the day calls, you're on the Sunday night calls, you're joining us tonight on the hangout, you know, and you're getting involved and you're into the team, because we love that and I love that. But how much action are you taking? You know, how many prospects are you talking to every day? How many prospects are you talking to every week and every month? How many three-way calls are you on every week? You know, how many videos are you putting out there on your timeline every week? It's really important to stay in tune with those really simple activities that sometimes they're hard. They can be hard. This is the tough stuff. It's what makes this industry difficult, is staying in prospecting mode, is staying in a place where you're taking daily action to build your business. You know, and I'm not saying that training is not good for you. It's great for you, and actually it's necessary. But I think sometimes we can get so wrapped up in the training that we forget to take action. You know, when you're getting information, you're, you know, tuned in and plugged into all of the, I mean, seriously, really valuable information from this team, all the different leaders on this team. The tip of the day calls, I listen to all of them. But I take action, and that's what I need to be even more focused on, and that's what I think all of us as entrepreneurs and business owners ourselves need to be focused on, is what action are you taking? Making sure to be doing the you know, the income producing activities daily. So make a list. How many three-way calls? How many prospects have you talked to? How many live events have you done? How many videos have you put out there, or content have you put out there? That's the work. Like, get it done. That's the stuff that matters the most. So that's what this year I feel like is going to be about for me. Getting a little more organized with my time. I've implemented a more structured daily, you know, my day. I've planned out my day better, and so that I can stay more focused on income producing activities. So I think that's what I would pass on to people is that,
Yeah.
you know, make the money. Make the money, go after the money, chase the business rather than chasing anything else you could get sidelined with, or, you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense.
We just had the conversation about action, you know, people, it's like learn, do, teach, and people get stuck in learn mode a lot of the time. We're always, you know, Sharon and I are definitely the action taker. We're like, do something, take action. A lot of that kind of goes right into something that I want to talk about a lot with the people on my team is a lot of time fear holds people back. They learn a lot, right? And they want to take action so bad. It's like a prison with like no bars on it, right? It's like fear can like debilitate people. Like they want to do it. They want it so badly. And then something gets inside of them to where it holds the action back. It's like, you know, so many times I get calls from people who are like, I really, really want to shoot my first video, but I'm so afraid to do it. Or I really want to follow up with my leads, but I'm so afraid to send this text, or I'm so afraid to send this message. Or, you know, one of the things, it kind of takes me back to a childhood memory, as crazy as it sounds, but I fell off this horse once, and I got a concussion, and a mess. So I got out of this hospital, right? And I remember walking back into my house. I was standing in front of my parents, and I felt like fear was going to consume me. I was like really inside of my own head, like I can't get back on that horse. I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, I can't get back on that horse. I can't get back on that horse. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it was consuming me, like my every thought. It was putting me in that prison. So the moment I had gotten home, I was like, I know I just got a concussion, Dad. I know, but I need to put a helmet on and like go get back on that horse right now. Why do you have to do it right now? It's like, because fear is consuming me. If I don't go and do this right now, I'm going to live in this prison of fear to get back on that horse for the rest of my life. I'm going to fear horses. And I don't like being afraid. So it took me a while. I was standing there kind of shaking. The horse was bucking and acting like a crazy horse because it could feel my fear, trying to keeping me in that prison. But I remember getting on it and the freedom that I felt after just by taking the action. And I try and tell people, fear feeds on inaction, doesn't it? Like the more inactivity that you take, the more you keep letting it hold you back. If you just stay inactive, like Sharon's like, take action, take action. One of the things that you have to do is take that first step. If you don't take the first step today, it's like a marathon the next day. It's like falling into a swamp, isn't it? It's like you didn't take that first step and now you're deeper in the hole. You didn't take that first, and now all of your vision starts to get cloudy, and all you can hear in yourself is, I can't do it. I can't do it. And all that fear starts to take over your life, right? It's like you have to get back to that point where that first step, if you don't take it, it becomes trying to get out of the swamp. It becomes trying. So I want to, one of my goals for 2016 is when somebody comes at me with that fear is to kind of go back to that story inside of myself and try to understand the fear that they feel. Because a lot of times I'm just like, just go and do it. Just go and do it. But I'm never really understanding where the fear is coming from and asking, my prospect or asking my business partner, well, where is this fear coming from and how can I help you out of it? I understood that my fear was coming from getting back on the horse, so I had to go and face that fear. How was I going to do it? Are they having trouble with leads? Maybe I can walk them through it. Hey, this is your custom video. Let me help you set this up, and we're going to text that first person together. Let's text that first person together and send that out so that they know that there's somebody beside them facing, getting them out of that fear. A lot of times people think all the time, what's the worst thing that can happen? They're always thinking the worst. I learn a lot from JoJo. I listen to JoJo a lot. And she's like, sometimes it made so much sense to me. Sometimes you play a story in your head, right? And it's always the worst outcome. You think people are going to act crazy, right, Sharon? Do you remember the story?
Totally.
You think of the most incredible things. Your mind can play these crazy tricks on you, and you have it all played out on how bad it's going to go. It's going to go so bad. I can't take it. I can't take it. When really, start thinking about all the good things that can happen. Stop thinking of the worst things that can happen. JoJo's like one of the most positive people I've ever met. She can uplift anybody. I really love JoJo. Things that she says sticks with me for a long, long time. And that's one of the things that I remember. Why am I going into this conversation thinking I already know the outcome? I don't know the outcome. Right. I can handle different outcomes. I can make choices to handle different outcomes, but that doesn't mean that's exactly what's going to happen. Fear. People fear those outcomes, so they keep playing it over and over again. Over and over again. So, you have to go back to, well, what would it feel like if I accomplished this goal? What would that feel like when that lead does call me back? What would it feel like if I just took that one step and signed up today? Because I remember the fear of investing money and getting started with Jeunesse too. But like Sharon said, I had to take action. I had to take action in my business and get something going. And that's
you know what I think too. A lot of people feel like, well, I think what a lot of people miss on when they're afraid of doing something, whether it be a video or calling prospects, is that it ultimately is just a decision. Right. Like I'm not sure about making videos because this or that or this and that. Well, do you want to make videos? Yes. Well, then you just do it. You just
Right.
decide, I'm going to do it, and then you do it. And that's what Cheryl did. That's what I did. That's what Giselle did. That's what we all do. You know, we all have those same thoughts. Cheryl had those same thoughts when she was getting ready to cut her first string of videos. Oh my gosh, my voice sounds stupid. You know, this, that. I don't know. You know, I mean, the same things that's what I felt. So I'm projecting it. You know, I assume
Yeah.
everybody feels the same thing I did. The first video I recorded for Jeunesse, and I've told this story on a couple calls, especially with my team, I literally recorded that first video about 6 times in different like corners of my house because I was trying to get like a different like angle and like different light on my face because I kept recording and I'm like, I don't like my nose, I don't like the way I sound, I hate my voice. I said the same like 10 sentences 6 times, 60 sentences. You know, we all go through that. Just do it. And then I brought, I showed that video to my husband, and I was like, I can't do it. Look how horrible I look. You know, I was trashing myself, and that's not right. You know, just do it. Get it out there. Get it done. That's how you get over your fears. That's how you conquer your fears, and that's how you move into the space where you want to be. Decide. It's a decision. Decide where you want to be. Decide if you want to be Rookie of the Year next year. Decide if you want to hit Ruby next year. Decide if you want to blow up Canada with Giselle. You know, you just make a decision that that's what you're going to do, and then you just get it done. And then you just do it. You can't allow fear to become your possessor. You know, you just can't allow it, and it's all internal. Everybody has the power to be a success. It's just doing it. It's action. You got to take action. You just get it done.
Yep, you can't
It's funny about that because I remember doing my first video too, and it was terrifying. I did the same thing as you.
Right? See?
Horrible. Finally, like in my car, lighting's good down there. You see all these car videos everybody's got. Probably the best filtered lighting there is. But you throw it up and you think, okay, I'm just going to do it because everybody else is. You know, you didn't die the next day. It's like, oh, okay, that was okay. So you know what? You just got to learn to quit even caring what people are thinking because it really doesn't matter at the end, right?
Right.
Right.
You know, I can remember my first several videos. I would literally like hit the upload to Facebook and throw my phone and run. So I couldn't go back and delete it. I would be like, and like run away from my phone.
I still have to do that sometimes. A lot of times, actually.
Just walk away. You know, now, the fears that we face, right? Like, I can remember doing the first tip of the day call or the first video or whatever. It's funny how it turns into something that drives you, right? Like now I'm just like, or that first salon or whatever, the first time that you do something, and now I could still feel fear like in my gut, but I start to laugh almost. I'm like, yeah, buddy, I'm about to conquer you in a second. Like it kind of drives me now. I'm like,
awesome.
I'm afraid of that. I got to go get it. But it's, if you can start to overcome fear and start to laugh at it, give it a wink. Smile at it, I see you coming. You could watch fear coming from a mile away. I see you coming. I know what I'm going to do. And we're all going to take action now because we know the greatest feeling. It's the greatest feeling to overcome it.
Yeah, it sure is. Get addicted to that, right?
Actually, that's one of my goals this year is I'm going to do 365 videos. They're not all going to be posted, but I'm going to do one a day anyways because I remember Maritza talking about, just sometimes you just make it just because you got a thought on your head, right? Something you need to remember. So I'm just going to make sure just creating that habit, after 21 days, just going to be a habit. And that's my personal goal. And, the ones that are good will go up and the other ones will just, go on the delete button.
You know what? That's something I'm doing too. I started a video diary. So there's some videos, especially if I'm going through really hard stuff that I'm just not ready to share, some really personal stuff, I'll still record a video about it, but I'll put it in my like video diary folder, for personal experiences that I'm going through now that I'm documenting and getting comfortable sharing, even if I'm not sharing it necessarily with the world or my Facebook, posts or whatever, but I'm getting it out there and I'm putting it on video and I'm recording it so that I have this diary of this process. Because all of us, as leaders in this company, we're rising up. We're building something big. That's what this is all about, and it's going to be awesome to be able to look back at what we were doing right now in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and remember this stuff. So I'm glad you're doing that, Giselle. I'm with you. I'm doing it too.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that you're doing that too. I remember, like, I did a video a while ago of, I write every single day about my experience with Jeunesse or something that's happened or just about my day. I've done that for a long time. And I was able to go back to the first month and say what I learned that month, what I learned this month, and it was so nice. And I talked to JoJo about that video diary thing, and there's videos in there I would never share with anybody. Yeah. But it gets me more comfortable in front of the camera every single day. I shoot something every single day and put it in a diary like Giselle was talking about. And it's been really powerful in my life, and I want to continue to do that. So, that was one of the really good decisions I made. I only started a few months ago, but when I talked to JoJo about it, and it has really been life-changing for me. It's different than writing it down because, I talked about on the tip of the day call, you can write anything. You can capitalize stuff, but nothing says emotion like a video.
Yeah.
Like I can see behind my eyes in some of the videos how determined I am or how, what I did that day or what was exciting or not. You can feel somebody's emotion through a video a lot different than all of the, I have books and books and books and books and books of everything, but it still doesn't compare to a video diary.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we'll all do it together.
Yeah, we should all do it together. It's really cool.
I know, excuse me, I apologize. I have a little cough this evening, and that's why if you guys see me mute or go out, it's because I may have to cough a little bit. Cough on the hangout and be seen coughing. But I just like to add on and just say that doing videos definitely allowed me to become more confident. And I know last week, Coco, I mentioned that when you do videos, your audience is watching, and there's somebody out there that gets something out of it. They really do. I've received messages to my inbox from people that I don't even know, and they let me know that my video has helped them in some way or somehow, and they appreciate the video, and it inspires me to keep going. And the more you keep your foot on the gas, it becomes very natural. And the key again is knowing that you're really helping someone by sharing your videos, because these are things you don't really take into consideration when shooting a video, because you're thinking about did I sound good or how do I look, or but when somebody says, hey, thanks for that video, it really helped me get through my day, or it really helped me get through a moment I was having, appreciate you, it means a lot. So I just wanted to touch on and share that also.
That's awesome. When you get those messages, they aren't saying, oh, how your voice sounded or how your hair looked, those things that we worry about. They aren't hearing that stuff. They aren't seeing that stuff. I think that's awesome.
And it gives you, like I mentioned last week also, it allows you to know that, hold up, wait a minute, now I really have to do videos. Now I really have to step up and stay consistent and things of that nature. So, like you mentioned, no one is saying, hey, you had something in your eye, or, you had something on your face. They really, receiving some value, and it's really, allowing them to see you for who you are. And that's what's important,
Yeah, it is.
Totally. It's funny. You can go from me who had 40 views on my first video. I remember specifically knowing that feeling, what it was like to have 40 views, and then you just keep putting out content. And I remember talking to Sharon, we've always worked really well together. What do I have to do now? What do I have to, and it was read books, do personal development. I didn't know a lot of things about Jeunesse, and I didn't even know how to log into a back office a year ago. I was so new. I had no idea. So she was giving me the tools. Go and read this book, read this, and it would give me video content. You never know, though, what video is going to get you hundreds of thousands of views. There's videos of, 50,000 views, 300,000 views, hundreds of thousands of views, all from a person that started with 40 views on the videos. What if I had just said, oh, that's only 40 views? I can't do it anymore.
So, see, it's a decision. That's why I think it's a decision. When people, especially when people look at you, Cheryl, and all the content that you're putting out there and what you're doing with your business, and if someone sits back and is thinking to themselves, I want to be like Cheryl Coco, I want to do what she's doing, then you just do it, right? Your first video, it might only get 40 views, 100 views, but if you keep doing it, and you keep being consistent and you get better and better, and you grow, and that's the fun of this, I think.
I think if you're a rookie or just coming in, or anybody, the most important question that you can ask, or the one that I ask my upline the most, Sharon, is what can I do next? What do I have to do next? I ask Sharon, Danny, Cedric all the time, what can I do next? Because if you have to keep going. You have to. It's what builds your business. How are you going to learn anything if you don't know what to do? If you don't know what to do next, just ask. Ask somebody, what do I have to do next? Somebody's always got an answer.
Totally.
Yeah. And you know what? It's kind of funny, too, because a lot of those videos that were around before are kind of not usable anymore just because of the disclaimers and the change to the industry. So I really recommend that everybody start doing videos, because the next viral one is still not out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's wide open for somebody to accidentally make an amazing video.
Right on.
That's true.
And I just wanted to touch on, I have a little quote I want to quote. It says, start doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, one of the things I wanted to ask you guys is, so we talk about 2015, 2016. What are something that you guys are going to do next? What are your plans to do something next? I always ask, what can I do next? Well, as far as like, what are you doing? What's the next book that you're reading, or what's the next big thing that you want to do? What's next, Sharon? I'm gonna go right to you, Sharon.
Think and Grow Rich. Everybody should be reading this. We're reading it in our leadership group, and I was reading it earlier today, actually. So I'm starting to think. I can't remember who it was. Cedric had mentioned someone, I think at Jeunesse 1. The convention in Florida just last month, someone had said they read it every day, and they've been reading it every day. Who was that?
I remember that. I remember exactly that.
And I think they're right on, because as I'm reading it, I'm getting more and more inspired. I'm getting more and more information, and I feel like this is the kind of book you could read over and over and over again and never master it. There's always new content to pull from the pages. So that's the book I'd recommend. Though, if we're really talking about book recommendations, for people who are brand new to Jeunesse, I always recommend the very first book you pick up, be Go Pro by Eric Worre, because I really feel like that book is like the blueprint to Jeunesse, like how to work Jeunesse. Read Go Pro. I mean, everything he talks about is exactly what we're doing here. So that's always my number one recommendation for people. And then when you're ready to hit ranks, you're running for Sapphire, hit 10X by Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
It's a great book for taking action and getting stuff done. But then Think and Grow Rich, I feel like, is a really good, like, all-around personal development, business development book. So those are the books I'd recommend. I mean, I literally have a list. I have a book room of like 30 books to read, but those are some standouts.
Yeah, some of the standouts that that I have, that it it always is dependent upon where I am, like in my business or in that time, the book that really appeals to me most. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at one time I was really stuck on I want to lift my leadership lid. I want to learn more. And the 21 Laws of Leadership really was influential in my life. I really love that book. I still read it. It's really impactful to me. And How to Win Friends and Influence People, the Dale Carnegie book, that one really spoke to me a lot. So those are two books that I know that I read or go back to. I always go and reference those books. So one of them is like, I think Sharon gave it to me, The Laws of Success.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good book.
That was,
every book I have, I'm like, that's
right.
such a good
Good.
Right.
What
How
about
about
you, Giselle? You guys read?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I apologize. No, ladies first. It's okay.
While I was cleaning up my office, I actually came across something when I was down at a convention a few years ago. I thought I was buying a notebook, and I was quite upset when it wasn't because there's nothing on it. It just looks like this black book, right? But upon looking at it closer, it's it's a Darren Hardy goal tracking book. It's like a whole workbook. So I'm actually going to go through this. I'm thinking score. Okay, I like that. Another thing, I picked up a nugget. I was watching something on from somebody I was following on Twitter, and they were talking about the events, right, and just learning how to really pack out events. And what was the saying? It was don't invite to recruit, but recruit to invite. So basically, instead of phoning people, inviting them to your party or event, hoping that they'll sign up when they get there, I'm going to be phoning people and saying, hey, you got to get in now. We're having an event. You can invite some people there and have your business already started.
Yeah.
So recruit to invite, not invite to recruit.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah.
That's awesome. For me, it's my daily routine. So with that being said, I like to share a quote from John C. Maxwell, and that says, "You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine." So for me, it's tightening up on my daily routine, being a lot more consistent. And my book for the new year is also by John C. Maxwell, and the name of the book is The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, again by John C. Maxwell. So
that's awesome. The routine thing really sticks to me. Since I've started Jeunesse, I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm going to share it anyway. Whatever, out the window with it. But every single day for almost, I guess, 365 days, I've listened to Eric Thomas, How Bad Do You Want It, every single morning that I've woken up. How bad do you want it? I've listened to that on YouTube every single day. For some reason, it makes me get out of bed and say, bring it. Like I get out of bed every single day, no matter how I feel, no matter what's going on in my life, and I listen to that guy, that speech. I don't know what it does to me, but I'm just gonna keep. I said I wanted to listen to it every single day for a year. I'm just gonna keep on listening to it because every single day it motivates me. So that was part of a routine change, and you could see every single day I was ready to get up and conquer the world because I know how bad I want it.
That actually shows in you, Cheryl, too, because you come across like you really want it bad. So it's working. It's awesome. I love that. Like you actually make me inspire me,
Thank you.
By your enthusiasm.
Indeed.
Oh, can I add one more thing? So one more thing I forgot to do this year is this year I do want to make it to the Eric Worre, the most powerful woman in network marketing.
Yay, I'm going to be there.
I totally want to go. The other one here, Richard Branson, always wanted to meet that guy. So we've already bought a 25 block of tickets to go see Eric Worre next December. And so that is like probably going to be my most exciting moment.
I'm excited. I get to see you. I'm going to be there too.
Okay, good.
Sharon, you went this year, right?
Yes, to the women's event I did.
How was it?
It's April.
Man, it was amazing. It was one of the best, maybe the best event I've ever attended. It was incredible. It was really powerful. And I mean, one thing about Eric Worre, he's like a corporation in himself, right? He is so professional. Like the whole, just the entire event was so well thought out, well put on, so clear, concise, and brilliant. I mean, those women that were on stage were just so empowering and motivating and inspiring. And after the event, being able to like at the closing celebration thing, we sat down with Gloria Mayfield Banks and just talked to her and picked her brain, and Tiffany Malott, and just all these powerhouses in the industry who you can really, brush shoulders with and gain insight. And everyone in this industry, when you go to an event like that, is so willing to share. You really develop that sense of community when you go to events like that. And of course, with Jeunesse events, or even on a smaller scale, home parties. I mean, all of it is really important. But man, the way that event was put on was just absolutely spectacular. So go to his events whenever you can. It's worth the money. Even if you don't have the money, it's worth the money. Go. Right. Seriously. It's, especially being a professional, especially wanting to make this industry a profession, you have to go to those events. You just have to, because it's mind-blowing. It's amazing.
Right. I remember listening to, I had the, what do you call that? Where you
live stream.
Yeah, I had the live stream or whatever, and I was looking at your pictures, and I'm looking at the live stream, it's just not like being there.
No, it's not.
Man.
It's not at all. Yeah.
Diana Ross really stuck out for me. So, in that. So that was awesome.
Actually, I think it was you that posted that, Sharon, about Diana Ross, and I'm like, who is this lady? And I added her on Facebook. She was so sweet. She inboxed me and chatted with me for a few days. Just absolutely.
Isn't she cool? She does that. It's amazing. She told this story. Okay, so I'll try to tell it really quick because I know we're nearing the 1 hour mark. But so Diana told this story about going into this shopping mall, and she needed to get a pair of pants because she had some event she had to go to that night, right then, and whatever, she had jeans or something, and she needed something dressy. So she walked into this department store, and for some reason their changing rooms were closed, or maybe they were closing in 5 minutes, so she didn't have time to go change, and there was a woman working there trying to help her and assist her, and she said, well, I need to try these pants on because I need to buy them right now. I have an event I have to go to. So I need to make sure they fit. And the woman working there was like, I'm sorry, but you can't do that. And she was like, you know what? Actually, I can do that. She took her pants off right there in the middle of this department store and put on the black trousers to make sure they fit. And she said, yes, I can. And it's like in this industry especially, as an entrepreneur, you have to have that attitude that I'm going to do it no matter what anybody else says. I'm not going to be afraid of being here in my underwear. I'm not going to be afraid of, making a video with the wrong angle. I'm not going to be afraid of calling my mom and telling her about the Finity and asking her to buy it from me. Will you buy it, Mom? Just buy it. Just try it for a month. You have to do this stuff. You have to decide that, you know what, I'm going to do it no matter what the outside world says. When the outside world says, no, you can't, you say, yes, I can. Watch me. So I love her because that story, I'm like, that's me. That's how I am. When someone tells me I can't do it, I'm like, oh, really? Watch me. So anyway, yeah, she's awesome. Follow her on Facebook.
I remember us discussing that story, Sharon, and it was like, oh yeah, I'd be like, I can try on these pants right here. Hold on a minute, totally the attitude to have. Yeah, I know. As soon as somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm like, oh, I'll be back in a minute because I'm about to go and do it.
Done. Yeah. So, good stuff.
Definitely good stuff. So we're gonna hop off in a minute or here if anybody has anything to say or close with or anything like that you guys want to make sure you get said.
Yes, I would love to close with chapter 2 from Eric Worre Go Pro book. It's an amazing book. Sharon mentioned the book earlier. It really has done a lot for me. I cut a lot of videos in reference to, what's shared in this book, and that's what's really helped me grow and help really attract the right people to me and put me in the right space mentally, daily. It helps me, how I carry myself, how I listen, how I respond. Like you mentioned, Sharon, he's just an all around professional, and it's like to the T, like
Mm-hmm.
to the T. So if it's okay, I would love to close with chapter 2 from Eric Worre Co-Pro. It's 7 pages. It's not long at all, and
Cool.
it also touches on a lot of things that we spoke about tonight. And chapter 2 title is, if you're going to be involved in network marketing, decide to be a professional, decide to go pro. It says there are 3 categories of people in network marketing. I've seen them all. I've seen all of them, and I've been all of them. They are the posers, the amateurs, and the professionals. Posers treat this profession as a lottery ticket. They're hoping to hit it big with little effort as possible. When I first started out, I was a poser, hoping to ride on my dad and his partner's coattails. Lucky for me, I got some results, and that kept me going, at least in short term. But I think you can agree with me that remaining in the poser category is a bad idea. Within about 90 days, I moved out of that category and became an amateur. Amateurs. Amateurs focus on different things. One of the things I continued to focus on as an amateur was luck. I was really hoping to get lucky and sign that monster distributor who was going to make me rich. We've all heard the stories of some person who has had their lives completely changed by one sign up. In reality, even if some of those stories are true, it really doesn't serve our profession very well because it makes people spend their time hoping for that big hit. The second thing I focused on as an amateur was timing. I was always worried about timing. Did I get in early enough? Could I be the youngest top level person in the company? How many other leaders were already in my local market? Were there too many to compete against? Were there enough to get true momentum? How was the company? Was it too big? Did I miss the growth curve? Was it too small? Was I obsessed with the idea of timing? The third thing I focused on as an amateur was positioning. Was I in the right organization? Did other people have a better position than me? Maybe I didn't have the right upline. Would I do better somewhere else? And the fourth thing I focused on as an amateur was shortcuts. I was always looking for an angle, any gimmick that came down the road. I was up for it. Newspaper advertising, okay. Help wanted signs by the side of the road, let's do it. Passing out flyers at the mall, I'm in. Going door to door, let's try it. The internet didn't exist when I was an amateur. Just imagine how crazy I would have been all over the internet. Tactics I could have used to distract myself. What that was, what that meant was every time I heard of some shiny new object being trained by anyone in the world, I was dangling. I was digging into it to try to find the shortcuts. And then I finally made the decision to go pro. Wikipedia's definition of a professional is a person who is paid to undertake a specialized set of tasks and to complete them for a fee. My definition of a network marketing professional is a person who is an expert at the skill required to build a large and successful network marketing organization. There's a phase in our profession that does more harm than good. It says ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. The point of this phrase is that it's better to be excited and ignorant than it is to be apathetic and smart. That may be true, but why do we have to choose one or the other? Let me give you an example. Let's say you were in need of an operation at the hospital. You meet your doctor. He comes in and says, I'm very excited to conduct your operation. I'm so passionate about it, I could hardly sleep. No one on earth wants to help you more than I do. You say, wow, thanks, doc. How long have you been doing these types of operations? And he says, well, I never had any schooling on this particular operation, and I've never practiced and I've never done one. But it doesn't matter because I'm so passionate. How are you going to feel? Enthusiasm is great, but eventually you need to marry the, the passion with skill. Professional athletes will devote endless hours to preparing for competition, but when they join network marketing, they won't give one day worth of effort to learning our skills. Doctors will devote a decade to their lives at huge financial expenses to become physicians, but when they join network marketing, they won't give a month's study and practice to becoming a network marketing pro. In his book, Outliners, Gladwell's research showed it takes approximately 10,000 hours of practice to reach the expert level at anything. With 4 hours a day of practice, that adds up to about 7 years. That formula applies to network marketing as well. It's going to take about 7 years for you to become world class. The good news is the profession is very forgiving, and you can earn a lot of money while you're becoming an expert. The trick is not to get complacent. Don't stop learning while you're earning. When I made the decision to go pro, everything changed for me. I stopped focusing on luck, timing, positioning, and shortcuts. I even stopped focusing on the money. My world changed when I started focusing on the skills and made the commitment to practice, practice, practice until I mastered them. Another thing happened when I decided to go pro. All of a sudden, my group started to grow. It was like people could sense my change of focus and my commitment to excellence, and they wanted to be a part of it. Think about a time in your life when you were around a person committed to excellence. It might have been a teacher, a coach, a boss, or a friend. How did it make you feel? It was inspiring, right? You'll find you will be inspiration to others when you make this important shift. Bottom line, if you're going to be involved in this great profession, decide to do it the right and treat it like a profession. If you go pro, this business is great. If you stay a poser or an amateur, you're going to be miserable. And by now you've noticed I use the word profession a lot. I do that on purpose. Network marketing is more than just a project. It's not an industry, it's a profession. If you do it right, it's truly a career choice. It can take you out of working in a job that doesn't make you happy to a place of total freedom. That's why I call my website networkmarketingpro.com. Here's what I tell people every day. Ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now
You're
let's go
right.
tell the world.
Mhm.
When the site launched on March 11th, 2009, Very few people called themselves network marketing professionals. That's no longer the case. Millions of people have changed the way they think about our business, and I'm proud of that fact. I look forward to the day when it's common for people to hear, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a network marketing professional. I work in construction, but I'm also a network marketing professional. I'm an athlete, but I'm also a network marketing professional. The more people hear those words, the more the world will be ready for a better way. And that's chapter 2. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was just like Sharon was saying earlier, choice, right?
Yep, it's a decision.
Making the decision. There it is.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
It was great hanging out with you.
Great
Fabulous
hanging out with you
lady.
guys too. Thank
Aaron,
you so much for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciated that tonight, and I had a really good time listening to everybody and sharing.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Okay.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.